In this edition of reShape 333, I want to answer a critical question that is quite time sensitive, in fact, over the next few weeks. Whether you're leading a church or a business or a community group, whatever you're leading, leaders are now asking, now that there appears to be some light at the end of this long COVID tunnel, and I know that I need to re-engage and reimagine a new way forward, a new vision for the future, but I also know that I am exhausted. The question is this: how can I both replenish on the one hand, and on the other hand, find the energy to reimagine a new way forward, a new vision for the future? Are both of those possible? I want to take a stab at that question. It's a great question, and I want to do it in the next 333 seconds. So let's get at it. In 1997, Steve Jobs had just returned to Apple. He returned to rebuild the floundering tech company. And so 3 months into his return, he walked into a leadership team meeting one morning. He was wearing his classic black turtleneck and Levi's jeans. And so from the head of that leadership table, he shared his new vision for Apple. It was the beginning of what they called their Think Different campaign. And in this internal meeting, Jobs highlighted a number of things that Apple needed to do. And the major priority would be reducing their products. And in that meeting, Steve Jobs said his commitment was to eliminate 70% of their product line. It was a huge, huge number. It was a risky move. What company would ever do something like that? But Apple did. Jobs was convinced that a simpler, more streamlined, more focused product line would be a better product line. And so Apple eliminated 70% of what they were doing, and Steve Jobs' focus and his radical commitment to less is more drove Apple back to the top to where they've remained. Now, here's what I know. Leaders are currently experiencing two very clear realities. Number one, they're tired. The demands of the past 18 months have drained their energy. Their imagination quotient is low. Their dream bucket is empty. Many leaders are, in fact, dreading the next chapter, the next month, even the next day. And pastors don't want August to come to an end because they know when August comes to an end, September starts. And when September starts, that means the startup of everything once again. They have to pivot once again to something of which they're not even sure. Reality number one is this: leaders are tired. And reality number two, leaders know they must lead. You were called to lead. It's why you're in that chair. And on your good days, you love to lead. And you love to lead well. So how do you navigate both of those realities? How do you refill your emotional bucket on the one hand, and on the other hand, reimagine a new way forward, a new vision for your church, your business, your organization, your family? Well, let me take you back to Steve Jobs. I know that you can't eliminate 70% of what you do, but let me give to you one word. I would challenge you to make this one word your one word for the next 4 months as a bit of an experiment. Just try it. Here's the word: focus. 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 Now, don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not oversimplifying what you do, but as you step back into what many folks are now calling our new normal, here are two questions that I want you to consider that will help you focus. Number one, what can you eliminate, or at the very least, what can you dial back in the next 4 months? What are a few of the non-essentials for achieving your mission? What has this COVID chapter taught you about what might be non-essential moving forward? What 2 or 3 things can you stop doing, or at the very least should require far less investment of your time than it did 18 months ago? And number 2, what 2 or 3 things would make the biggest difference if you were to achieve those? In your church, in your business, in your organization, what 2 or 3 things would have the biggest bang for the buck, the biggest impact if you were to achieve those. Commit to focusing on those 2 or 3 and no more. I want you to spend some time on those 2 questions. Do it personally, perhaps even do it with your team. Talk about it around a table. I'm going to put the 2 questions on the screen, and I would ask you to consider both of those questions. Thanks for leading, everyone. Thanks for leading. And hey, if this is helpful, I'd ask you really, share this thing, please. It might be helpful to others. In the description below, you can subscribe, and I'd appreciate that. You can click on the bell, so every time a video drops, you'll be aware of a new video. Thanks for leading, everyone. Have a great day.